out. Let's watch this.
I want to take this opportunity to apologize to all my Nigerian brothers, both the state and the people of Nigeria, for I did not do justice when I was explaining about Nigeria must go, when I did explicitly explain everything that transpired when it comes to Ghana must go. So Nigeria must go. This is what actually happened. When history is being told, it must be told the right way. For we criticize the West for telling our history sadly for not explicitly explaining what transpired. This is what transpired in Nigeria must go. The entire Africa was one. When Kwame Nkrumah became the Prime Minister of Ghana, up to when he became president, he called on everyone who had money to come and invest in Ghana, that Ghana was open to the entire Africa and Ghana was open for business and they should come and invest. Nigerians, wealthy businessmen, were of 90% of the investors who moved to Ghana to invest. And the population of Nigerians in Ghana by then were up to 2 million Nigerians living in Ghana out of the 2.5 foreigners living in Ghana by then. But when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown by Kotoka and the rest, then came Busia in power as prime minister. When Busia came, he was a staunch opposition to Kwame Nkrumah. He never liked Kwame Nkrumah and the policies. When he came, the very first thing he did was to dismantle Kwame Nkrumah's policy and brought in the Alien Compliance Order. When he brought in the Alien Compliance Order, this seek to sack every foreigner in Ghana. And he knew quite well that of all the foreigners in Ghana, Nigerians were 90% of them, and they were investors and businessmen. They invested in cocoa, invested in infrastructures, invested in all sorts of business, manufacturing, transportation, you name it. So when he passed this order and he gave them a deadline to leave, the Nigerians had no option but to auction all they had, because they were suppressed by the government. And by then, Busia passed this law that no foreigner should be engaged in. About 40 businesses he put down that no foreigner should engage in. So the Nigerians had no option but to leave. And it was a bad time in history. Nigeria had to auction their cars. Nigeria had to auction their houses. Nigeria had to auction their businesses, their farm. Most were not even able to auction their businesses. They left it. And the indigenous Ghanaians took over their businesses, their cocoa farm. They lost their lives in custody. And as a result of this, it affected, traumatized the Nigerians. Just imagine you took huge amount of business and money to invest in Ghana, and even when you are living there, hard cash money, the money you were supposed to take, the banks refused to give Nigerians more than 2,000 pounds, and these people had hundreds of thousands of pounds in their account in Ghana. The banks refused to give money, and these Nigerians were in huge migration crisis. So as this happened, within that period they were auctioning things in Ghana. Life was good because Ghanaians were rushing, buying Nigerian product as cheap as possible. Everything came down. The moment a Nigerian left, life became hell for Ghanaians. The crisis Ghana faced, the hardship all the way to that of the farming period of Ghana started when Busia passed this alien compliance law. The effect on Ghana when the Nigerians moved out, cocoa price fell. Okay, and also Ghana lost cocoa production from 50% of global production to 30% because the Nigerians were the one doing cocoa farming. The prices of goods doubled because the Nigerians were the ones who made it possible for the prices to be cheap. And when the Ghanaians were left to do businesses, they wanted to be rich as quick as possible and double the prices. And also transportation became a problem because most of the cars were owned by Nigerians. Nigerians had invested in transportation system. So this was a problem. And loss of jobs because the businesses and factories and cocoa business, the farming were operated by Nigerians who had employed people. These people had left and jobs were lost. Okay, businesses collapsed. Ghana was in disarray. This was the start of Ghana problem that finally led to Ghana having famine. We would come to that for a latter part. What was the negative effect on Nigeria? Nigerians died. Yes, people who were in detention because the government held lots of Nigerians, and so some of them died in detention. What again? Nigerians lost houses, lost cars, lost businesses, money. The banks could not allow Nigerians to take more than 2,000 pounds from the bank because they didn't want this money to go. And these Nigerians had hundreds of thousands of pounds in their banks in Ghana. So this was a disaster. This was a problem. When the Nigerians returned, some were hoping to see back their loved one, but they had only to be greeted by the news that they had died in Ghana. This was a bad thing. Alien compliance law was what led to Ghana to fall in those periods until in the year 1985, when J.J. Rawlings went to Babangida to renew relations with Nigeria. That was when Ghana and Nigeria saw peace. Within this period, there was nothing like peace. So J.J. Rawlings moved to Babangida to make peace. But even when J.J. Rawlings moved to Nigeria, things were worse. Things were terrible for Ghana. Not until when President Kufuor became president of Ghana, year 2001, Kufuor moved to Nigeria, went to Nigeria and pleaded to the then president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, in the words of President Kufuor, not me, that Obasanjo is a gift to the African continent. Why did President Kufuor say this? Because when the economy of Ghana was in shambles, Ghana went hippie, meaning there was no money in Ghana. When Ghana was scattered, when the ones you call foreign donors, development partners, America, the Britain, you name it, all countries rejected Ghana. Nobody was there to come to the aid of Ghana. But Nigeria, and President Kufuor ran to Nigeria and laid down to Obasanjo. He didn't feel Obasanjo would help to say that, okay, we will resume supply of gas to Ghana to supply electricity. When he went, Obasanjo surprised him. Obasanjo did not only ask Kufuor that they should resume gas to supply to Ghana immediately, but also push the payments to almost 4 years back and also reduce the price for Ghana. And not only that, Obasanjo actually gave 30 million United States dollar to Ghana to buy cars for the police. I know that money was rejected by Obasanjo in Nigeria because Nigerians were blasting him as the president of Nigeria. But it is true. He helped Ghana. He assembled investors to come to Ghana to invest in Ghana. That is how come the infrastructure of Ghana today, housing, is at its peak. They're one of the best in Africa because the Nigerians came with their wealth, with their money to invest in Ghana. And Ghana is where it is today. And I will tell you, Nigeria has done a lot for Ghana. This I know most Nigerians don't know. That is how come President Kufuor, who ended saying that Obasanjo is a gift to Africa, named from 37 roundabouts, 37 to that of Achimota Forest as Obasanjo Highway in Ghana. This is as a result of the tremendous effort and help, aid from the people of Nigeria, from the government of Nigeria to Ghana to help boost Ghana's economy. This is history. We must not shy away from it. There is so much between Nigeria and Ghana. Why we must put asunder our fight. Why we must put asunder blaming one another. Let me tell you, one of the reasons is Nigeria and Ghana started fighting for AU together with Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone brought this fire to Nigeria, brought it to Ghana, boiled Nigerians and Ghanaians, Nkrumah inclusive, the ITA Wallace Johnson and the rest, that you should fight for your independence and let's form Africa Union, which is, by then it was Organization of Africa Unity. Nkrumah championed it in Nigeria. But the white man skillfully came to Nigeria and told them, do not allow Ghana to head AU. And they went to Ghana and told them, do not allow Nigeria to head AU. The reason being is they knew these two countries were powerhouse in Africa. Nigeria had immense wealth. So also is Ghana. If these two countries could blend their wealth together, I'm telling you, there is no way Ghana and Nigeria combined would not be able to give aid to other African countries.
When this issue of, the Igbo king in Ghana started happening, I think I was, one of the first people that did not come to media house, but because I have so many friends who are Ghanaians. So we just organized, a WhatsApp, group like that. We talked about it, and this was just exactly what I was telling them. I told them the history of Nigerians coming to Ghana, that most Nigerians that came to Ghana came with money. They came to invest in Ghana, and Nigerians are contributing, very big to Ghana's economy. That what is going on there in Ghana right now is politics. And I made mention of one of, the opposition leader in Ghana there who is going around trying to, talk down on this particular person that he wants to buy Ghana, do all sort of things. But that is not my problem. My problem here is what I told them about, that was a month ago or thereabout. What I told them was that you can't continue to chase your brothers out of Ghana, dehumanize them, use your mouth to paint them black, and you allow Chinese to take your, leadership. When I mean leadership, you give them chiefs. They bought over your lands, but you are saying your brother cannot even buy your land. Does it make sense? It doesn't. So I think I'm happy that they are now realizing that Nigerians are contributing big to Ghana's economy. And the majority of the Nigerians I'm talking about are Igbos. Igbos are the Chinese of Africa. All over the world, there is no place we go you will not see Igbo man. They did not come there to beg. They did not come there to, take from you. They are there to give you. They are there to, put money to your economy. Come on. Don't play with Igbos. They are the Chinese of Africa.